And while we're on the subject, I wish you'd try to stay home a little more. I gotta work, ain't I? Oh, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this television broadcast to bring you a special news bulletin. At 10 minutes past midnight Central Time, the city of Ingolstadt fell under attack by an unidentified creature. Witnesses report described the creature as a large man-like figure, standing roughly at 18 foot, clad in bark-like skin and covered in strange plants. Police are strongly advising people to return to their homes and remain inside until the situation has been resolved. Dr. Victor Frankenstein, local man of science, has admitted to the crime of creating this abomination in the abandoned observatory on the outskirts of Ingolstadt. Police currently have him under arrest, but they are still on the lookout for 6 dangerous individuals believed to be the accomplices of Dr. Frankenstein's crime, known publicly as the SuperBestFriends. Any information known about these criminals should be reported immediately to police. We now return you to a regularly scheduled programming.
Here's now.
Mic check, mic check. 2, testing.
You ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Hi, we're Team SuperBestFriends.
Hi.
I went up to wave and you said hello. I was like, okay.
Right. You
Do
ready?
we wave first or do you...
I'll say the words and then you can wave. Hey, we're Team SuperBestFriends.
Hello.
We've chosen to do the script Frankenstein Alive by Matthew Hessey. I'm Josh Page, I'll be the director of this project, and the main reasons for joining BFX it would challenge us, it would be fun, and we'd get feedback from the industry and help us improve our skills. I will be lead animator on this piece. I'm really excited to work on this because it will give me the choice to animate a character that is very fluid and very sort of controlled with his motion at the same time, which is then contrast with the way the monster will be animated as it's very stepped and very clunky in his movement, which will then allow me to do what I love in animation, creating emotion and motion within a character with this animation.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm working as art director on this project. I'm going to be handling any pre-production, texturing and matte painting if it's needed. I'm really looking forward to working on BFX because I think it's a great opportunity for us to play around with the more artistic elements that are involved in Frankenstein, and just to incorporate them into a visually stunning animation. I think the texturing itself is going to be quite a challenge. It's going to be quite interesting to see how we handle quite realistic textures on stylized models. The creature especially is going to be really fun but very difficult to do. It's going to be a combination of hand-painted textures that will be done in Photoshop and Mari with image-based referencing textures such as stone, rocks, bark, moss, that sort of thing, all natural organic textures.
Hey, I'm Borna. I'm the character technical artist. My main roles will be rigging and a bit of scripting here and there where I can help out the team. I think my main job will be to rig the characters and create believable deformations within Dr. Frankenstein, whilst also retaining an air of cartoon squash and stretch. I'm sure that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it'll be really interesting seeing how I tackle that, as well as the hulking behemoth and representing the hulking behemoth in Frankenstein. Also, obviously, there's going to be scripts. I reckon I'm going to have to make something along the lines of procedural generated foliage, and it'll be really, really fun getting all this done because I really enjoyed the technical problem solving involved within my role of expertise, and I just really can't wait to get started.
Hi, I'm Laura Ambury and I'm going to be the lead modeller and compositor. I'm really looking forward to doing the modelling on this piece, especially for Victor and the monster, who's going to have some really interesting forms, bark, leaves, moss. It's going to be really, really fun to tackle and quite a challenge. So I'm going to have to spend a lot of time looking into modelling that kind of thing. Also the environment, I'll be modelling some of the main pieces for the environment, like the radio, some of the bigger machines. So that's going to be fun. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Billy Wright, and I'm going to be the Environment Effects TD. My main role would be to do the particles and simulation of water and steam, and the reason I'm doing this is because I love blowing things up. My main challenge will be to get everything out as high quality as possible, but within the render time.
Hi, my name's Sarah Nutt, and I will be in charge of lighting and rendering in this project. For the lighting style of this piece, I wanted to use harsh shadows that you see in a lot of the earlier horror films, mixed with the use of colour to emphasise mood or environment, or even a specific character or object. I wanted this to be able to not only ground it within the horror genre, but also use it as a way to build up tension and to also reflect the feelings of each character and what is actually happening within the scene. For the visual style of this piece, we wanted to look at horror movies themselves. So we had a look at Frankenstein from the 1930s, but we also had a look at more modern films and also different types of horror films, the slasher, the psychological, the ghost stories, and we wanted to sort of combine these all and see what style we wanted for our own piece. We also had a look at video games and TV shows, and also music videos for artists like Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, the ones that use horror within whatever media they were doing, and see how they went about it and see what techniques and stuff they had and what we could use for our own piece to reflect the horror feel that we wanted to give, not just depending on people's knowledge of Frankenstein itself. And one of the main places you see this is in the lab design, because we wanted a homemade feel. We looked at lots of different labs, from Frankenstein's own lab to Dr. Monroe, and we decided that more of a homemade feel was what we wanted. So we decided to look at House of a Thousand Corpses and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because their work areas are very, very homemade, but they were almost too hillbilly for what we wanted. So we took this idea of homemade and then we decided to combine it with something called steampunk. And steampunk is modern technology mixed with Victorian engineering. And we thought it was a great way to keep the piece in yesteryear, but also have it as a homemade technology. And it also, I think, just adds this feel together of a man on a mission to create this creature by himself, and just gave it all this nice sort of feel and look to the overall animation.
So yeah, this is our storyboard. We start with a close-up of the radio, playing music from around the 1920s, 1930s time. The camera then starts to pan around the environment, very much like the introduction to Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, giving slight clues to the audience about Victor and his personality. We then cut to a close-up of Victor's face, not fully revealing what Victor looks like. We then cut to a wide angle behind Victor, and as he spins towards the camera, fully revealing himself. He then struts towards a switch, pauses, and as if he's having a relationship with this switch, pulls it, in which we cut to a low angle where we see machines turning on, lighting up and revealing a pool of water. We then cut back behind Victor walking towards the water. The camera slowly rotates and translates back, creating a low angle as the monster grows, revealing the environment and the monster.
And here's our animatic. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. We look forward to hearing from you. Super Best Friends, out.